Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the F4L Headquarters podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Bertram, our amazing bat band. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to first and foremost welcome you all to the F4L Headquarters podcast. I am Sean Jazz Stevens, for those people who don't know, and we are awaiting the arrival of a very special guest. We are awaiting the arrival of a very special guest as we are awaiting our good friend and one of our members of our roster, Jadon-Brooks, our first guest of 2024. And it has been a little while since we've had Jadon on, and Jadon's always a wealth of knowledge and a burst of energy. And it's always good to catch up with Jadon, who he is someone who we have literally watched grow in his time. And he is someone who we added to our roster years ago to Icons of the F4L. And he has evolved over the years. And it's amazing to see, really. Speaking of which, oh boy. We're going to get right into him right now, I guess. Greetings and salutations. Connecting audio. This ought to be fun. Well, that's fun. Hello, sir. Wait a minute. What's going on here now? Oh, there's audio. That's good. We almost had audio. Okay, we got audio. Awesome. We got no visual yet. Oh, there he is. Okay, there he is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Jadon-Brooks, as promised, a man of his word, as always. How are you, Jadon? Hold on. Let's play some music here to let people know you're here. Hold on. Yeah, we're getting fancy here now. Oh, I know, right? Hold on. Ready? There you go. That's enough of that. All right. So, Jadon, welcome to the F4L Headquarters podcast. First guest of 2024. How does that feel? It has. And actually, I tallied it up, and I think that you might have the record for the most times coming to the F4L Headquarters podcast. That must be quite a feat, let me tell you. Having to travel all the way to the F4L Headquarters podcast to be here, so that's a big deal. All right. Yeah, that's so true. So, Jadon, what we were doing today, we're going to do a little bit of a watch-along. Are you ready for this watch-along thing we're going to do? So what I have to do real quick is, as we're sitting here chatting, we're going to catch up on a few things. While we're doing that, I'm actually going to throw together a playlist for you to watch, because the Brooks brothers had quite a year this year on Icons of the F4L. And before we go into that, while I'm doing that, I'll have you reintroduce yourself to the millions of people who are listening right now, and the millions of Brooks Brothers fans, or as we call them, the bankers. Yep. Yeah, right? Exactly. So, hold on one second here now. Because we have so many of them, because the Brooks brothers are, of course, on our Telenet Universal side of things, and before we go into big things, why don't you tell people who makes up the Brooks Brothers this year, sir? This past year, I should say. So, when we talk about the Brooks Brothers Incorporated, the people who we featured on the show, I think some people they obviously are aware of who you are. You've been dominating people on our show for years. The American boxer, Jadon-Brooks, a former United States champion, former United States tag team champion, former Universal champion, and this year alone, multiple-time Telling It Universal tag team champion. And actually, that's 7 times over for you. But this year, you had a little bit of a different person than you usually had. I know you originally had one tag team partner when you started. And then you have another person who you're very close with. So, why don't you tell people a little bit about your tag team partner you've had in 2023 and how you think that went so far, from what you've seen? I was. The iPad. Do you have your iPad ready for this also, so you can watch all this excitement? Oh, fantastic. Watch this. I'm multi-talented here. See, the last time I did this, it was quite an interesting thing. So, what we're going to do, as I sit here, let's see, I'm going to go to playlists, and let's see, where is the Brooks Brothers? You have so many of them. Okay. Well, there was another person we had debut this year, too. Why don't you tell, in the most, I have to say, it was an individual I don't think I've ever had the luxury of calling matches for before. But nonetheless, very entertaining, to say the least. That would be Scotti Brooks. That is your sister, correct? Sort of? I guess, right? Why don't you tell people about the very tough Scotti Brooks that maybe people aren't aware of yet? She is, literally. She is a dream warrior. That's what we call our female superstars. You heard that right, folks. We're talking about a dog, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yeah, Scotti Brooks was definitely quite a handful and quite a interesting addition, to say the least. All right. And actually, she has a pretty decent record. Indeed, she has. I mean, I think recently she had a match with Mega Maid from Spaceballs, which would be her largest athlete that she's had to take on so far. So there's that. So, Jadon, why don't we, actually, while I'm having the thing, let's just do this. Make our lives easier. Go, if you have the icons open, correct? Obviously, you know where the channel is, correct? I would hope. All right, cool. We're going to go right over to the video proportions. And if you want to put in just Brooks Brothers Incorporated or Scotti Brooks, we can do either one there. And we're just going to do this old school. I'm just going to, I don't know where this playlist went. I had one built, and as always, it's fun, to say the least. All right, let's try to go for your thingy-me-bobs here. I have too many things we've done over the years, huh? All right, your videos. Okay, here we go. Well, let us go back first and foremost to, I'll give you the date because it's probably easier that way. So why don't we go to the icons of the F4L 12-24-23. You're going to love this one. As you fell. Is that Scotty? Scotty fell? So, 12, 24, 23. It's the Christmas Snow Brawl. Yeah. Apparently it was 11 days ago, apparently. Let me know when you have it. And then we're going to watch that first. And we're going to kick things off with the most interesting of all matches to start things off. You got it pulled up? So what we're going to do is, since this is a watch along, let me know when you got the screen up and what you see first. Mega Maid versus Scotti Brooks, right? It's okay. So it's going to be 12. Actually, you can see almost Scotti Brooks in the thing there, sort of. Yeah, so 12, 24, 23. It's called the Snow Brawl three-way dance. Apparently, it was mislabeled, apparently, because, you know, technical difficulties and all. Hold on, let me see. How do I wonder if I can... Oh, I know how to do it. Hold on. If I go like this... All right. Hold on. I'm a multi-talented individual, let me tell you. I got you on one thing, and I got this on another. All right, here we go. So I'm going to send this to you. 1 second. So I'm going to send this to you, unless you have it already. Do you already have it? Or no? All right. All right. Hold on. I'm going to send it to you. Give me 1 second. On your probably Instagram. It's probably quicker that way. And then we'll go from there. Ready? I'm going to send it to you right now. Much easier, right? Rather than searching around. It's mislabeled. That's probably why you can't find it. Let me know when you see it. I just sent it. Seen right now. Okay. So when you get it loaded up, let me know. We'll count to 3, and then we'll hit play so you can watch along. So you ready? Let me know when you get it loaded up. You got it loaded? Almost. I'm pausing it. All right, here we go. So count to 3, and then we'll hit play, and it should start up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and play. And it's going to take a few seconds for it to load anyway, so I guess I could have just done that. So Mega Maid versus Scotti Brooks. Is that what loaded up for you? Yep. I might suggest you probably want to have the sound off because you don't need to hear my delightfulness as I call a match and probably laugh my head off because I had to call a match with Scotti Brooks taking on Mega Maid. First and foremost, are you aware of who Mega Maid is? I know you're a little younger than I am. Mega Maid is from Spaceballs, which is a movie from like the 80s. It was a giant robot transformer thing that came from Spaceballs. It kind of looked like the Statue of Liberty, only it was a giant maid. And they used it to suck the air out of the planet. Spaceballs was a spoof on Star Wars, and that's Mega Maid. She's a giant, because Mega Maid was a giant maid. So that was a funny thing. But because, you know, Scotti Brooks is female technically, she has to face the females only. So Mega Maid making her way to the ring. What do you think of Mega Maid? Not to mention the fact she's taking on Scotti Brooks, who, if you want to talk about Davey versus Goliath, I think this would probably be that. Good example of Davey versus Goliath in this one, if there is such a thing and such things. While I'm doing that, while watching this, I'm also going to send you a few others to make your life easier, as well as mine. So you'll have that loaded when you're done here. This is going to be a few anyway, considering Scotti Brooks likes to take her time to the ring and everything else, apparently. Is that generally how Scotty is? Speaking of Scotty, here she comes. It's a dog. I don't know why the Titantron's not working, but yeah, that's a Scotty Brooks. She just got out of just escaped from the doghouse. That's probably the most clothes Scotty's ever worn, right? Random. Right? It's a dog, folks. Come on now. Well, if they watch, actually, I get a lot of emails about Scotty Brooks as far as our Dream Warriors go. Let's look at the size difference, first of all. Doesn't matter to Scotty Brooks, however. Look at that. Ticks down the giant. I don't know how big she is. She's a large individual, however. Big size difference. Pretty accurate to size compared to others, huh? Goodness gracious. I'm actually going back to your very first the debut of you guys this year. Oh, Mega May caught Scotty Brooks in the corner. That's a rough time. But I mean, Scotty Brooks is, a dog. I can't emphasize that enough. She's a dog. She is. She's a tough dog, let me tell you. She's a good puppy. Is she a good puppy, or is she or she tend to kind of be a rebel and do her own thing? Oh, there's a what she has to chew on? Really? That's good. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, it would be not good if she didn't behave, I guess. Yeah. I guess it's better when your dogs do what they're supposed to do, I guess. As she's measuring Mega Maid. Very much a difference in size, I gotta say again, on that. Yep, there we go. I found you. So I'm going to share this next one. This, I believe, is your debut as the Brooks Brothers Incorporated. I'm going to send that to you. "30 minutes. Good. I just wanted to get an idea of how long we got to for. That helps. That helps. That definitely does help. So, that's a fun time. I know. Scotty's a lot bigger, a lot tougher than people think she is. I mean, she's taking it to Mega Maid. Come on. Mega Maid is an absolute beast right now. But Scotty Brooks is taking that big old giant thing and just smashing her around right now. Not really caring much about how it works. I'm going to have to say, I'm probably going to think that at least 2 or 3 videos you should be okay for your watch along. As you guys had quite a year, I got to say. You and Lincoln. Lincoln had quite a year himself. Have you seen a lot of his matches? What was his opinions of watching himself wrestle versus everybody else? Does he? Because now he gets it. Oh, I found Scotty's debut too. Here, we're going to put that in here too. I'll send that to you, and then that should be good. Pretty much they'll be in order, the ones I'm sending you, and we'll just watch them from there. I found... Yeah. So, is your dad and mom ever seen you guys wrestle? You seen this stuff at all? Yeah, what was his opinions on seeing you wrestle in the ring and beating people up and half a dozen other things you're doing? Has he... What did you say? All you got now? Did he get to see you and your brother wrestle yet, or just you so far? Because you've been around for a while. So, how does it feel to be a veteran of the roster? A veteran at 16 years old, a veteran of the ring already. It has, really. Yep, indeed it has. And how you've evolved over the time. And Scotti Brooks defeats Mega Maid in the most interesting match I've ever seen in my life. That was quite a thing right there. That Scotti Brooks taking it to the giant Mega Maid, not letting anything get in her way. So I sent you a few. So we're just going to go in order, I suppose. So let me know after this is done, which is pretty much done. We're watching the recaps as Scotti Brooks is still celebrating now, like the true dog that she is. Now, does Scotti Brooks have that jacket in real life? Yeah. That might, I don't know how cold it gets down there. Look at that. She's a dog, folks. Come on. It gets cold down there in North Carolina, does it not? I don't know how cold it gets, though, generally. How cold does it get down there? $9 degrees. That's brutal. All right, so I sent you a match. We'll pretty much keep them in order. It's from, you'll see it. Yeah, the one I just sent you. You go the one that after the Scotti Brooks one. Just let me know when you get that loaded in. I think this is your debut. I think. I don't even know if you know who that is you're facing, but you face them and you did your thing. So let me know when you get it loaded up. Do you know who the Beatles are? So let me. Are you already have it loaded up or no? All right. So let me know. So it should say a tag team match between the Beatles and the Brooks Brothers. All right, cool. I'm hitting play. You watch this one? Back in the day, huh? Way back when this match took place, that epic war between you and the Beatles, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Heroes are remembered, but legends never die, as Jadon just turned John Lennon inside out. And there comes Lincoln. I think this is his debut. Him in his black and orange. How does he like the black and orange? He looks like a crossing sign, a danger cross sign. One of those road signs. That's a good thing. The caution, men at work type of thing. He just launched himself off the ropes there. I think that your brother's definitely the daredevil of the two. Is that accurate or no? Or are you more the daredevil than he is? Well, we'll have to see, because this is Lincoln's debut as he's taken to John Lennon. Does your brother like his hair in this game? Uh-huh. Are you cold? Are you cold? You're cold? Oh, cool. I gotcha. Jaden's in the garage, folks. He's in the garage watching stuff. Because he's, I get it. Did you get your work out today? Brutal. I gotcha. I gotcha. Jaden is probably one of the single most, aware, health conscious people I know. But other than the many people who, choose to post pictures of them just posting pictures, Jaden actually does it just to be healthy versus, whatever else people claim to do for whatever reason. Right. So how did your race go? Didn't you have a race? I haven't talked to you since your race. Did you win your race? Yeah, that one. Yeah, see, Jaden gets lost in all of the things he gets done in between things, Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't run unless someone. Well, I don't even care if someone no one chases me because I just stand there and fight because I'm not one of those people who runs. But it's a different story if I'm going after someone else, though. Then I might run. Depends on how. Lincoln telling Paul McCartney a couple things there. Is Lincoln generally a trash talker when he does sports and stuff? That's a brutal move right there. Great teamwork, by the way, right there. And Jaden's computer died, having technical difficulties in the garage. It's the ghosts. It's the ghosts in the garage. And Lincoln just smashed Paul McCartney's face into the mat with a kick. He's back. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He had to go and give Scotty Brooks an award for winning. Welcome back, sir. The match has continued to play because I didn't pause it. As you guys are still beating the tar out of the Beatles right now. It's already a 3.5 star match. Not that matters anything. The timestamp right now, hold on, I'll pause it. 12 minutes and 18 seconds. No, my bad. 6 minutes and 15 seconds, my bad. So we're at 16.15 seconds. Paul McCartney just got tagged in, I think. Oh, one of the two, because you guys just been beating them up senselessly. So let me know when you're all ready. You ready? Should be Paul McCartney coming back into the ring. And now he's going to put you in, and it looks like a sharp... No, maybe not. He's trying to give you a nice ab workout, I guess, or a stretch, perhaps. I didn't know Paul McCartney was such a brutal individual, but... Oh, that's a clothesline, though, that Jaden just turned him inside out with. Did you see it? Yeah, I would say so. Well, you are a boxer after all, getting all that boxing going. So, that's fun stuff. So, did you have a good New Year's and holidays so far, sir? Since it's been September since we've seen you? Uh-oh. Lincoln just crashed and burned on that one. I guess he was planning on one thing. It didn't quite happen. Oh, my. And he missed his clothesline, too. But in fairness, I think this is his first match. I mean, whenever you're doing something new, it's hard to adjust sometimes. I think we're going to have to update everybody because I think he needs new attire. Uh-oh. And Lincoln's tired of being thrown around as he punches John Lennon in the face. Gets a near fall for doing such. You got Lincoln telling John Lennon that he's number one, apparently. I didn't know your brother was a Beatle fan. He probably doesn't even know who the Beatles are, right? Like you, he's heard of them, right? Uh-oh. You all right? Yeah, I like how you guys are both doubling up on these guys. Uh-oh, watch out, Lincoln. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he was going for there, but he missed it, whatever it was. And John Lennon just hit him with his own thing. And only a one count only. Don't count out Lincoln Brooks, folks. He's double tough. So, you guys excited for 2024? Oh, yeah? Like what? Anything you gotta dispelge to the rest of us? I know a podcast that you could come on to. I don't know. I might know one that might have you on. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I might know a guy who has a podcast. I might. As you should. And that is how you get things done. Jadon is also very, very humble in the fact that he doesn't realize how smart he is. As I tell him all the time, he's one of the smartest people I know. Now he could turn three shades of red as I give him compliments that he hates. Right, Jadon? I get it. You're not used to it. I get it. Yeah, Jadon is very, very intelligent, ladies and gentlemen. It has a business mind. He's had a business mind since he was 12, and he's now 16. So, in retrospect, that's like having the brain of a 35-year-old man. So, that's good stuff. And he has more ambition than half the dozen people I know who are a lot older. So, well done, Mr. Brooks. You're very welcome. Did you know that I'm going back to pro wrestling in 2024, which we're already in? Did you hear that, yeah? Yeah, that's exciting, huh? What's even more fun is I'm going to be doing a cross-country tour. Isn't that exciting? Going around to the blocks and everywhere. Should be interesting. I lost track. I have a few already booked that we're waiting to announce, but I can tell you that there's some places not far away from you that I might not be far away from you on one of these trips. Might have to have the clan come down and see the Jazz Fitness do what he does best, as Jadon just did the Superman punch and now ripped John Lennon in half with a spear. Did you play football? You didn't play football, did you? Back in the day. And on Wednesday? I think so. I think you guys finally had it. Yep. And we're going to Rolodex. That was nice of Paul McCartney to help you stretch like that, though. But in the end, right there, Jadon ripping John Lennon in half with his spear, and apparently Lincoln is exhausted for some reason. Interesting stuff. All right. Well, that was fun. What did you think of that one? That was your debut as a tag team. I mean, must have had some butterflies stepping in there with a legendary team like the Beatles, maybe. and you can actually add that to bragging rights. So I think the next one is shorter because you guys are tag team champions in this one. So you're defending the tag team titles against a newcomer team, as you guys are multiple-time tag team champions already this year. So yeah, let me know when you get that loaded up. Yep, that's correct. You're taking on a debuting tag team. How about, because you're the veterans now, believe it or not. So let me know when you are ready, and we'll get there. You're there? All right, we'll count to 3 and hit play. You guys beat them in, I don't know who won, but it's 7 minutes and 33 seconds. As the New Zealand family, who are a new team to our midst, they joined this year. Well, in fairness, Lincoln did too, but Lincoln's already been a 3 or 4 time tag team champion already. At one point, people were upset because they thought that I had something to do with it, which I do not. You guys kept on earning the opportunities. What am I supposed to do? It's not my fault. It's you guys for being tough. I can't help that you guys are better than everyone else. What am I supposed to do about it? I just build and call the action. I am. You guys are the ones going there and beating people up. Get mad at them. Actually, even instead of getting mad, beat them for it. Don't, instead of getting all some kind of way about it, right? Yeah, see, again, Jadon's very humble, folks. So, yeah, that's the New Zealand family. Where are you at, so I know, in this match? Yeah, we're starting now. Oh, this is your new entrance, too. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna start it over, though. We're gonna start it over, so we'll get there. Ready? So, 3, 2, 1, and play. Ready? 3, 2, 1, play. Because it takes a second for it to load, and this is a short one anyway. And then the last one will be the Scotti Brooks' debut, which was a match. Oh, I do too. I'm actually contemplating to see about a mixed tag match, but I don't know who I would team with, whoever. And I don't know which one of you would team with Scotti Brooks. So in 2024, what goals do you have, and do you set goals in in the beginning of the year? Are you one of those people or no? Right? I get it. Indeed. And Jadon already said he's going to be doing some other things here and craziness there, and of course going to be part of the Icons roster. And that for your, how many years now has it been? I can't lose track. When did I add you to the roster? Do you remember? You don't even remember, probably. 3 years. So this will be your 4th year? Or your 3rd year? Wow, lucky number 4, you know. Something about that 4. And this is Lincoln's second year. So he's Lincoln's second year on the roster because he debuted last year. So as you see, already the gear has changed and your entrances have changed. How do you like your entrance, by the way? Yeah, because you guys are all about the money, you see. The Brooks Brothers Incorporated. You see? You got the money little, stock sign thing there. See? All about the business. I'm sure everyone in North Carolina is as big into the New York Stock Exchange as you guys are. Loaded with the money. Right? In North Carolina, right? Actually, what's funny is my last trip to Monster Mania, the convention I work for, I accidentally ended up not far away from you. Not in something I was planning on doing, however. So I was not happy about it, but regardless, I ended up not far away from you. Against my will. I was working for Monster Mania, as you know, but I was taking the train, and I have never heard of such a thing in my life. But apparently the conductor got confused. Instead of going north, he went south. And decided not to tell anybody that he was going south instead of going north. And they picked me up in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I started the trip, and it was supposed to go north, where I am from. Instead, the conductor, got confused and ended up going south instead. And I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going right now? This doesn't look anywhere familiar right now. And the conductor comes by and he goes, oh, we're about not too far away from Alexandria, Virginia, or some crazy thing. And not far. And then the next thing we know, we're in North Carolina somewhere. I'm like, why? How did I get here? I'm going north. Anyway, that was fun. And then, to boot, because they made a mistake, then they had to send us to Washington Station to get the train to go back to where we needed to be. In Washington, D.C., mind you. From your neck of the woods. Because that was just wonderful. And if I actually planned on going to see Washington, D.C. that day, at 9 o'clock at night, I might have been more apt to taking pictures and being nice about it. Heck, when I was in North Carolina for the whole a half hour that I was there, I would have said, hey, Jadon, I'm in your neck of the woods for half an hour. But I was more annoyed at the fact that I was in, no offense to North Carolina, but I was not meaning to go to North Carolina after working all weekend and trying to head home. Completely different directions. But anyway, I guess people are human. Have you ever heard? I'm telling you, I could tell you stories all day about some luck. Let me tell you. You want to talk about luck? Have you taken trains? Have you ever taken a train? Yeah. You guys don't have public transportation down there in North Carolina, right? Not really. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that way. That way over there. I know. I get it. You know what, though? That's nothing bad there. But, I mean, when I think of North Carolina, I feel like it's all in the country. So, that's just me. I guess I'll find out, because I am intentionally going to North Carolina this year, because that's one of the stops on the tour. So, what... Oh, man. So, you guys lost the tag titles here, apparently, to the new team. But, it's perseverance, though. I mean, and you had to elevate them to get to where they are. I mean, that's something to say the least. They had to bring their A game to do that. That's true. That's true. And have you ever seen the New Zealand family? By the way, do you know who they are? They're YouTubers, and they are from New Zealand, and they like to learn about American culture because they're fond of American culture. And that's a father and son team. You guys like to beat the father and son teams for some reason. Random. But that's going to be some interesting stuff there with the thing. So, the last match we have for you, because I know you're pressed on time. So we have one last match, and it's Scotti Brooks' debut. I know this is a, and if people ever thought I was kidding about that, then they obviously don't know me very well. So, let me know when you're loaded up, and we will watch the debut of Scotti Brooks in her very first rivalry, folks. And she did have quite the rivalry when she first started. And actually, I got to say, if it wasn't for Scotti Brooks, I would have learned a very interesting, fun pop trivia. That Grumpy Cat, the famed meme and celebrity that she is actually a female cat. Fun trivia. So you ready for this? All right, we're going to count to 3, and we're going to hit play. Ready? 1, 2, 3, play. I mean, it's going to take a moment for it to load, looks like, anyway. And yeah, so Scotti Brooks versus Grumpy Cat in Scotti Brooks' debut. This is Grumpy Cat, of course, because she's grumpy, and it's a cat. Yikes. Grumpy Cat, ladies and gentlemen, look out. Do you remember Grumpy Cat? You're at that age, you must remember memes, right? Do you remember Grumpy Cat? She was an early YouTuber too, Grumpy Cat was. As she smashed a clock over her head, and that's a scary little thing right there. I'm glad I don't want to fight a cat. But that's what Scotty's for. Scotty can fight the cat all she wants. That's one of those early days. That's, when you really think about a rivalry, or you think about, natural enemies, if you would. Cats and dogs, I think, would be the epitome of that. So I guess it would only... How does Scotty do getting along with cats, out of curiosity? What is it? She does not get along with cats? Not a little bit, not at all. So it sounds like it was a great feud to have for Scotti Brooks and Grumpy Cat. Megastar Scotti Brooks. I can't wait for the day when I have to call the match where Scotti Brooks wins the title against someone random. As Scotti Brooks doesn't change much as she makes her way to the ring. Actually, this is more her actual fur attire here. Batman, but Scotti Brooks style. At least she's got your entrance video. That's good. Which we got to update again, so we'll have a new entrance video for the Brooks Brothers Incorporated in 2024. And of course, we have all kinds of other crazy things. We had our watch along a few weeks ago here. And I know you were busy doing, your things and stuff. But one of the things we did is we had a best of. We had to take the 4 best teams, 2 from each side to see who would be the tag team of the year. And actually, the guys on the other side were, well, the only other people who joined really. They were very impressed by you and Lincoln's performance in the show. Because Lincoln was eliminated 4th in the match in a 4-way, and you had to go pretty much alone the rest of the match. This is the watch along we just had. We did our Hall of Fame special, and the current Dream Masters BAMMA Grand Prix Tag Team Champions were fond of Jadon-Brooks, so. Just so you know that they were very impressed by Jadon. They were chanting for you to get up. So You got respect from the opposite side of the roster. That's exciting. As Grumpy Cat is feeling some kind of way against Scotti Brooks. What do you think, the red or the blue for Scotti Brooks? She's wearing the blue here. This is her debut, and what a power slam. She got the red and she's got blue, but that's her blue. Does Scotti wear jackets often? As she barks. Scotti lost her jacket. We're going to have to get her jacket back. That's terrible. Did Grumpy Cat steal the jacket? Maybe. We don't know. We'll figure that out, I guess. Well, I don't think Grumpy Cat did, considering I think Grumpy Cat is no longer around much anymore. As Grumpy Cat rolls to the outside. Out of curiosity, how do you like the arenas? Have you noticed the arenas this year? You guys have been popping around everywhere here. In fact, I think you're on that, Ross. You're on our mat. Isn't that exciting? Indeed. This is last year's arena course, so this year is going to be a little different. Yeah, that is you. That's you right there. You're on our mat. Isn't that actually, along with everybody else who started out this year. That's exciting. Intriguing. That's the canvas. I remember. That's for the podcast. That was the... I don't know what arena this is, but we'll have a new one next year. All kinds of new ones. I think that was celebrating my podcast or something. Anyway. It's going to be 4 years I've been doing that this year. That's exciting. I know. And Jaden's kicking off the year on the F4L Headquarters podcast. Go figure. And I think he was one of the early guests, too. It's a good way to, also, so out of curiosity, just because, you're someone who's been here a few times now, what do you think, first and foremost, what are the reasons you like to do podcasts, yourself personally, any podcast, but also, how does the experience work for you on your end of things? Because you're obviously a little different than I am. In the sense that you're my guest kind of a thing versus, what do you like better, being the host or being the guest? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, you've been part of this show since we had the old format. Which format do you like better, the old format or this format? So you like the being able to see each other then? That's a better format? Yeah, I agree. It makes it a little different. And people have been wanting it for a long time, so one of those old sayings, be careful what you wish for. In all honesty, it's actually quite, and it's a better setup now, considering now there's really not as many hang-ups or any technical difficulties I had before. Sometimes I had issues with people calling in depending on where they were calling in from, and then, other things, like it wouldn't connect or whatever. But now, it's a little easier, plus you get to see each other. And we proved that considering I've had people from all over the world now on this show, so. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little, as excited as I was to have as many people was originally supposed to do the watch along. I was a little interested to see how it was going to work, because it would have been 5 different time zones that would have been part of the show at the same time. It would have been West Coast, Midwest, East Coast, and then, of course, East Coast was ours, UK time, and then Australia, New Zealand. It would have been 5 different times. It would have been insane. I would have been up for it, but me and my son were like, how are we going to do this that it's fair to everybody? Because someone is either going to have to get up really early, or someone's going to have to stay up really late in order to get all that to work. See, East Coast. See, people don't understand the time zone thing. As Scotty Brooks wins her debut, and this would be a thing to follow, and this would be apparently her thing all year, apparently, to win and beat cats and dogs and robots. Interesting stuff. But now, out of curiosity, what do you think? So, because I never really asked someone on this other end of things, when you get asked to be on a podcast, what do you look at when people want to bring you on a podcast? Like, when you want to go, do you go on any podcast, or are there criterias, or whatnot? On your end. Nice. What about the people? Now, have you ever gone back to listen to, or watch any of the old podcasts you've been on, or no? Of everything else? Interesting stuff. Yeah, I bet. Well, Jaden, I know. Well, that's our watch along, but I figured while we have you for a few seconds, I just wanted to give you that platform to, if you wanted to plug things as always, and say whatever you had to say, and whatever else you want to do for the year, and what excitement things that the Brooks Brothers people can look forward to from the Brooks Brothers this year. Now is your time. Well, you do have that window washer business, do you not? Jaden wants to wash windows, people. You want to get your windows done well? Go see my buddy Jaden if you're in the North Carolina area. If you're outside of the North Carolina area, you're probably going to have to pay a lot more for his services. I'm just saying. Out of curiosity, what is your timestamp? What is the... See, I just opened up a whole different can of worms for you there. See that? So, in retrospect, someone wants to do windows. Why don't you tell people what are you doing for that? Because you just mentioned people might not even know that. I knew that, but what kind of things are you trying to get out of the window washer thing? And then what are the guidelines? Because everyone should always have that boundary thing there, right? You don't want to go to Canada right away, right? Or United Kingdom or Mexico or something, right? Oh, no worries. You know what? Oh, what I was asking is, talking about your window washer thing. Like, what are the kind of the guidelines, and what are the things that you should look for, or what are the things that you think you're not going to do right away? You have no guidelines. Okay. So do you have a time area or a location area that you're looking at, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, right. So, in other words, if someone wanted to have you wash their windows in Florida, that might be an issue, correct? We could make it happen, right? Twist your arm to get you down to Florida. There'd probably have to be some type of huge stipend there, I'd imagine, right? Now, because I'm just curious, and also want to show people the difference between how your mindset versus the average person your age. Florida. Let's say someone wanted you to go to Florida to do their windows. What is on your mind when you go to Florida? Just the windows, or what goes on in your mind if someone says, "Come down to Florida, wash my windows"? Obviously. Oh, I got plenty of stories, trust me. Traveling, in wrestling, there used to be a thing called the road days, the territory days, where guys used to travel, used to literally get in a car and drive to the different towns in wrestling. Actually, North Carolina is one of the big wrestling towns. You probably knew that, though. A huge wrestling territory, if you would. But the reason I ask is because average 16-year-old or average young person, if someone said, "Hey, come do, we want you to come to Florida and do our windows," they might be thinking, okay, even if you got paid, they're thinking, "Oh, I want to go to Disney World, I want to go to Universal Studios and whatnot." That is not your mindset, though, when someone says, "Hey, come do wash our windows," correct? Right. And that's why I say Jaden is one of the smartest people out there, folks, because that goes to show you the difference. The average 16-year-old, if you were to say, "Hey, we're going to pay for you to go to Florida to do windows," they would be looking to see what else they can get out of it. Go to Disney World and Universal. But like myself, I also would not be so thrilled about just doing one thing. I would have to have some kind of a purpose to get there, and I would want to get in and out. In fact, fun story about my last time in Florida. Then I'll let you get going. So I had a tryout in my wrestling days down in a company in Florida. Now, as a kid, when I was a younger kid, I was like 7 or 8. I went to Disney World when I was younger. And I'll tell you how long ago it was. It was so long ago. In Florida, all they had was Disney World, Epcot, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld, I want to say. They might have said SeaWorld twice. But that's all they had. There was no Universal Studios. There was no MGM. There was none of that there yet. And I can tell you this, too. On the TV for the pay-per-view was The Three Amigos, which you probably never heard of, which is an old movie from the 80s, and like The Color of Money with Tom Cruise before he was big. So that's how long ago it was. In fact, the newest ride they opened was the Haunted Mansion. So that was 1986, by the way, or 87. Now, years and years later, I already became a wrestler or whatever, and there was a company that was starting out in Florida, and a bunch of my friends who were already working down there, they said, "Hey, Jazz, why don't you come down here and work out down here?" And this is my mindset versus everyone else in the world. There's tryout studios where the wrestling company was. They actually did shows on Universal Studios in Florida. But my mindset, I didn't even think Universal Studios and the rides and all the other bells and whistles, even though that wasn't built when I was there last, when I was a kid. But they flew me down to Florida to have the tryout with the company. And I was offered the job, but when I found out, people were coming into the company I wasn't fond of, and kind of got wind of some things were changing, I was like, "No, thank you, but no thank you," and went back up north. But that's the mindset of how I am too. Because I hadn't gone to Florida. That was my last time in Florida was that occasion. Was because I had a tryout in wrestling company in Florida at Universal Studios. But I didn't think, I could go see King Kong and Jaws. I didn't have that mindset. It was do the job and get out. And that's what I did. So, much like Jadon-Brooks here, he would go to Florida, clean your windows, and get back to North Carolina as fast as he can. Because that's what he does, right? There you go. All right, Jadon. Tell everyone where to find you, and if they're in the area, they can find out where to book you to have you clean their windows in the spring. Social media is a lot of fun, isn't it? It is interesting. Well, Jadon, congratulations on everything. I'm still proud of you. And Jadon is literally someone I've seen grow in time period, and you're still continuing to grow. And now he's wearing his, that sweatshirt is like huge. But I bet it looks warm. It looks warm. It actually looks like a contractor's jacket. So you're apparently addressing the part. That's good. Jadon, I'm proud of you. Keep up the great work. Tell Lincoln, keep up the great work. And we'll be in touch with you very soon. Jadon, thanks as always for being part of the show. Thank you for being an icon. And very soon, we're going to be sending you your T-shirts. So get over it and take your T-shirts and accept them and be happy because you deserve them. All right. And then also, we'll have to keep in contact. And when I am in the area, we'll have to let you guys know. And you guys can all come down to see Jazz Fitness do his thing live. Like only I can. All right. Jadon, be good, brother. Peace. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that was the great Jadon Brooks who joined us. I have concluded the video portion of our interview, but this is now the audio part. And I want to say again, thank you to Jadon for coming on the show and taking part in this watch along. And literally, Jadon has been someone I have seen grow in his time, and we couldn't be prouder of him. He is a smart young man, and he is very knowledgeable when it comes to health and whatnot. And he's also wise enough to understand, goals and dreams and whatnot. And he's very much an individual who believes in those things. And not only does he believe in them, he works towards them. And we couldn't be prouder of him. And Jadon is the epitome of what an F4L is. He understands the lifestyle, and he is an F4L brother of the F4L. So I want to thank him for being on the show for the watch along. But now, while I am doing the audio portion of this, I think now would probably be a good time to do as I said I was going to, and that is to tell you guys a little bit about some of the people coming to the F4L, to the icons of the F4L in 2023. And talk to you guys a little bit about our brand new tournaments that we're starting this year. So, that being said, first and foremost, let me read off to you guys the currently, this is our roster, current, and you'll notice that what I have is, I have it broken into two spots. The first sections are the people who are returning, and the other half are people who are being added this year in 2024. Now, I want to mention that you may have seen a few of these people, one of these people debut already. And actually, on all actuality, some of our icons who were originally supposed to start in 2024 actually debuted a little early because they were ready to go and they were hungry for action. Those people like Dmitry Chernikov, Igor Lichev, Action Jackson Baker, Ryder Lockwood, are all people who originally were supposed to start in 2024, but because of their ethic, because of their drive, because they were ready to go, they started early. And of course, Drake Larson debuted yesterday in his debut show. He is one of our newer stars from the TikTok and social media world. It's been a little while since we had someone represent, the TikTok world and the, all that stuff. So we look forward to seeing what he brings to the table. And he's a very talented young man, and he is very charismatic, and we look forward to seeing what he's going to bring. And as he showed yesterday, he's also tough as nails. So there's that. And he's actually on the same roster as Jadon Brooks and Lincoln Brooks and everyone else. So First and foremost, let's talk about our divisions real quick. First, we have the Telenet Universal Division. These are people who are pure athletes or are in the entertainment world of some kind or social media presence and so forth. I'll give you an example. This is for the current 2024 roster. First, we're going to go with who is returning, because that's the important piece, right? Those returning. Hold on. Hey, Bertram, want to play that music for this little bit here? Nice. All right, thanks, Bertram. You're doing great work there. All right, so let's kick things off with the Telenet Universal Division. So, returning and going to the Telenet Universal Division, this is an alpha order somewhat. Big Baby Jeebus and David Hagen Jr., the Hagen brothers. Of course, they are the promoters, the sons of the promoter of Monster Mania. Big Baby Jeebus and David Hagen Jr. returning to action, along with Denzel and Sam of the New Zealand family. We saw them during our watch along, and that was their second match ever. So there's that. One of the fastest people on the roster, and who debuted last year, who will be returning this year. One of the best tri-sporters out there, Speedy Easton McDonald. Igor Ilyichev, the football star from Moscow, Russia, who is our current champion and has been a phenomenal addition. Also returning to the roster in 2024, who has been part of our roster for a little while now. He used to be number 13, and even if he plays as number 13, he is always in the top 5 of anybody's top picks, and that would be Arseny Verkovits, the young football star we've known for years. Literally, he has grown several times over on our show, and we couldn't be prouder of that young man. Also returning in 2024, you know it wouldn't be the same without Jack and Tim, the Lucky Ones. And as I mentioned, our guest who we just had, Jadon and his brother, Lincoln Brooks, returning in 2024. The real deal, Michael Fishman will be returning to action as well. And of course, A-List, or List 25, Mike O.K. Estrin will be also returning to action. The natural Philip Ricardo Jr. will be making his debut in the Universal side of division. The natural bodybuilding champion of the world coming to the Universal side of things. And of course, also on the Universal side of things, and also someone who he knows very well, will be the original JoJo the bodybuilder himself, returning to action for his 5th year on our roster. Tommy Collins will be making his return to the Telenet Universal Division, and so will the multiple talented total package Walker Campbell, which means that there is pretty much nothing that young man is not capable of and will not accomplish. Very talented and hardworking individual. And we couldn't be prouder of Walker Campbell making his return in 2024. And also the punk rocker himself, Elliot Fulham, will be also making his return. And also, you have Chad White, the patriarch of the meme family. He is the husband of Angry Karen and the father of Becky Day. And of course, Christopher and Christian Convery of the Convery Chess Club. Cosplay Jesus and Father Evil will be making their debut in the Telenet Universal division, giving the tag team roster a well-needed oomph. Cole and Dylan Sprouse, the Wonder Twins, returning to action. The Boston bad boy of comedy, Dane Cook, returns to action. Damian Payne and Philip Awesome, the Blood Brothers Incorporated, the Blood Brothers will be returning to the Telenet Universal division. And of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Stan the Man Lee, and Sean Awesome, better known as the Awesome Ones, returning to the Telenet Universal division to wreak havoc on everyone else. However, they're not the only ones. The man with the loudest mouth and 0 wins, the guy who claims to have the machine that'll tell him how to beat anyone with no knowledge, no matter how many or how big they are, Herbert Finkel returns to the Telenet Universal division. Maybe he'll get a win this year. But of course, making his return along with everyone else, the man with the bulging biceps, the perfect pecs, and the washboard abs. The host of the Fitness Center and the leader of Hollywood Fitness, Jazz Fitness, returns in 2024. Alongside his longtime friend and fellow Hollywood Fitness buddy, Macaulay Culkin, returning as well. And Magic Mike Lewis, who had a tremendous last year in his first debut, he will be returning next year, as will the Canadian Prince of Pop, Justin Bieber, returning to action. Now let's talk about the newcomers, the new faces of the division in Telenet Universal Division, coming in 2024. You've seen him debut yesterday, and he will be part of the main focal point. The very talented rising star of TikTok and social media, Drake Boy Larson, will be already made his debut, and he will make in 2024 the year of the Drake Boy. Also joining him will be the very talented musician, artist. By the way, he does have a martial art background. However, due to the fact that he is a very talented musical guest and a musical personality, and he will be one of the best musicians out of the U.S., we are very proud to welcome, making his debut, the talented Gus Jeffers, making his debut in 2024. However, this one we can't wait for. This one is honestly one that we haven't done in a long time. And we actually haven't had this person on the roster, sadly, in a very, very long time. But you know what? We don't forget our friends. We don't forget who helped us get along our way. We don't forget those people at all. Who we do remember, however, is the person who helped start this show and get it to where it is. And that, of course, is our F4L brother from down under, the original YouTuber, Jordan Jensen, makes his debut, long awaited, on Icons of the F4L. And, of course, some other newcomers, also YouTubers. Ro knows, and you've heard his reviews, and now he's coming to make sure that the tribal chief falls at his hands. Ryder Woods makes his permanent debut in 2024. Ryder was nice enough to do a cameo spot for us and joined us for our Team Warfare match when we needed a help to take on the Bloodline and face his biggest rival in Roman Reigns. Well, Ryder Woods is going to be coming to Icons of the F4L in 24, and we can't wait. And Ro Knows is also going to be part of there, and of course, Hogan's biggest fan. I can't wait to see what's going to happen and how well Ro and Ryder get along in the same company. Also making his debut for the first time ever, adding that element of comedy and also bringing his own faction with him, the incomparable Jeff Dunham, also known as The Voice, Jeff Dunham, along with Peanut, Walter, Ahmed, and Bubba J. They are, you guessed it, Jeff Dunham and his puppets. Also joining the roster, making a first time ever. He hasn't been seen since the 90s or 80s. The Jackalope will be making his debut in 2024 on the Telenet Universal Division. And last but not least, making his return for the first time in 2 years. Also going to be part of Hollywood Fitness, the multiple talented individual that he is, Freddie Prinze Jr. makes his return to Icons of the F4L on the Telenet Universal Division as our main point of Hollywood Fitness. And that is our Telenet Universal Division. But now let's talk about the other division, the Dream Masters BA MMA Division. This roster consists of some of the legitimate tough people, the toughest humans who have ever walked this earth, or not. They consist of individuals who either wreak havoc, bring terror, or other things that are yet to be discovered. And that is the BA side of things. And of course, I don't think I need to tell you this day and age in 2024 what MMA is and who you should be paying attention to and where they are all coming from and who to keep an eye out on. Because we make it simple for you, folks. If we have them on our roster, they are legitimately MMA icons. And this year, after I'm done telling you guys the entire BA MMA division roster currently, which there is still some room, by the way, I will unveil and talk about that new tournament that we're going to be starting in 2024. First and foremost, let's start with the returning members of the roster for 2024 in the BA MMA division. Also loose alphabetical order. First and foremost, Anthony the Hunter Adele, along with Mason the Hammer, Ty the Devil, and Troy the Terror, the Adeles. This year, these four brothers, who are the very much in real life, are the measuring stick of sports in Florida, and they are the fastest rising stars in the MMA world, in the youth division and beyond. They have been on a roster, the older brothers have been on the roster for quite some time. Troy joined us last year, and he made the difference, as this year, the Adele boys are the current reigning Dream Masters Team Warfare champions, as they defeated teams of four, and there was no four people that could compete with the four Adele boys this year. Next year, have to wait and see. They are the champs, and you got to be the man, you must beat the men. So the Adele boys returning to action next year, along with the Lionheart, Dmitry Chernikov out of California, the King of Bling, Big E, Elijah Furton, Grayson, the Super Duck Russell, Henry El Nero, and Henry El Nero, Jairo the Pitbull Menya, the Menya boys, the toughest young men out of Texas, returning, of course, as well. The prodigy himself, Jackson R. Scott. Lights, camera, action, Jackson Baker, who debuted the end of 2023 and has already made an instant impact and looks to make sure he continues his reign in 2024. The Nightmare. Number 1 Nightmare, Noah Tyndall, along with his tag team partner and training partner and his mate, the Redheaded Terror, Anthony Demiweek, and they are the Night Terrors returning to action. Patty the Batty Pumblett will be also accompanying them and making sure that everything is hunky-dory. And of course, the man that comes with a nation, Ryder the Nation Lockwood, returning 2024. He was also someone who debuted early, and he's looking to make sure he takes names and adds to his legacy in 2024. Sean Jazz Stevens, Sleepy Bear, and Triple D of the F4L. In addition, we also have the Biker Rally King, or the Bling King, who will be making his return, along with Negan of The Walking Dead, they are alongside of, with Tony Soprano, they are the Saviors. CM Punk returns to action. Clownfish will be making his debut in the BA MMA division, because apparently the Clownfish thinks he's tough enough for that. Dan Keogh, the leader of the Bullies, along with Rampage Ronnie Angle, and Jake and Logan Paul, the Paul brothers, or the Primetime Pauls. KD Smooth and his Smooth Operators will be making their debut in the BA MMA division. And who is in KD Smooth's team? And who is in his faction? Of course, it's LeBron James and Tom Brady, of course, in his Smooth Operators, alongside of Detroit's finest Eminem. Not to mention the fact the Prince, Mike Pettis, will be making his return to action to the MMA world. And of course, Pat McAfee returns to action in 2024. Now, let's talk about some of those new faces, some of those newcomers you may not have heard of. Maybe you haven't heard of them yet, but you will now. So, that being said, let's not forget about Art the Clown, who is returning also in 2024. However, let's talk about someone who has not been seen in a long time, who is returning to action in 2024. And part of the BA division is someone who has a long history with our longtime member of the roster, Jackson R. Scott. His worst nightmare come true. Brightburn returns to action in 2024. Also, some newcomers making their debut for the first time ever on the Icons of the F4L in 2024, who will also be taking part in not only our Open MMA tournament in June, but also will be part of our new tournament we'll be talking about shortly. Those newcomers are none other than Isaiah, the Natural Trenna, Connor, the C-Money Stelber, and of course the Untamed Jesse Wellen Jr. all make their debuts in 2024. Also making his debut, he is a YouTuber, he is a martial artist, he is an action star, and he is an incredible human being. The Viking Samurai makes his debut in 2024. So, that's a lot to unpack there. Some of those names you might not have heard. I want you to remember the names I've already mentioned, who are already there. And these people who I just named are absolutely incredible athletes, are absolutely some of the toughest humans on the planet. And we look forward to seeing what they have in 2024. Now, let's talk a little bit about something huge, something big. But before that, we need some mood music. So hit it up, guys. All right. Let us talk about the debut of something new, a new tournament to earn our ranks. So, for those who have not seen or heard, allow me to first and foremost inform you. So, let us talk about some of the names we just mentioned and unpack here. So, for those people who don't know, my son and I, when we started Dream Masters or Dream Matches, one of the things we did is every so often we had tournaments. And everyone is familiar with those tournaments we have currently. Currently, in June, we have an open MMA tournament to be crowned Icon of MMA. That is our newest tournament we added 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, the individual who won that tournament was none other than Ty the Devil Odell. This past year, our second year doing the tournament, it was won by Jairo the Pitbull Mena of the Mena Boys. We had an open tournament in that MMA world. We opened it up to everyone who we had access to who wanted to take part. There was some incredible fights, incredible moments. I can tell you that the other Adele boys were in the finals along with Jairo's brother, along with others. The Nightmare Noah Tyndall, for example. And at that point, we also had some others individuals as well who took part in that as well. And of course, I think Big E Elijah Furton was also part of that tournament as well, I want to think. But regardless of any of that, that was then. This is now. And this will be our third year doing our open MMA tournament. And with the names I just mentioned, and I'm sure by the time June comes along, we'll have even more icons in the MMA world who want to have that claim to be icons of MMA. Because what you win in that, first and foremost, as anyone who watches our shows knows, we do not have any control over the outcomes of any of our matches. After I build the people, and after all that is done, I have nothing to do with the outcomes of the matches, who wins and loses. I don't have any control over any of those things. And it's completely randomized, and I just call the action, ladies and gentlemen. That is how our show works. And our tournaments are the same. We do not. We do not have any control of the outcomes of our matches ever. Not any of our divisions. Not for the Dream Masters, which is our males, or our Dream Warriors, which is our females. That is fact. Okay? Now, that being said, other tournaments we have on normal, that we always have, every year regardless, we have our Open MMA tournament. That is the first, was originally our first big tournament. And then we have the tag team invitational, which is open to singles tag teams or teams of two to crown the best duo and tag team in the universe. That is a tournament we do every year. And this past year, the Ministry, Cosplay Jesus and Father Evil, won that tournament. And we had some incredible teams involved. We have an incredible roster anyway, as a whole. We've proven it every single time we've proven. We have the best roster of anywhere, of any planet. Facts on that. Because we see value in human beings, and we know who the legitimate players in the world are, who the legitimate tough people are, who the individuals are who are going to make a difference in the world, and who are going to be legitimate champions when they choose to be. That's a fact. And that goes for the entertainment world or the combat sports world. But the tag team world, and then of course, our other tournament we do is in November, and that's our team warfare tournament. That's teams of 4 or factions, groups of 4. That was our regular talented. That was our regular tournaments that we had. So we had the Open MMA tournament starting 2 years ago. We had our Open Tag Team and Duo Best Tag Team and Duo Universal Tournament, and we had our Team Warfare tournament with teams of 4. This past year, the winners in 2023, Jairo the Pitbull Mena for the Open MMA tournament, becoming the icon of MMA. Again, the Jairo the Pitbull Mena came in secondly last year. This year he won the tournament, in the Open MMA tournament. And then in the tag team world, Cosplay Jesus and Father Evil winning that. And in Team Warfare tournament, as I mentioned at the start of this, the Adele boys have shown that they are the measuring stick in the faction world. And the 4 of them collectively, and this was the first year that they could actually participate, as it is teams of 4, and there are in fact 4 Adele boys. And Troy has proven to be just as much as a force to be reckoned with as his brothers are. And if you sleep on him, I guarantee you, Troy, like his older brothers, will be the one who will make sure he makes a believer out of you. And he is now going to be the measuring stick of his division. So there's that. But here we are in 2024, and we have been thinking about doing something different, something new, a different perspective, giving other people opportunities. And what hasn't been done yet? What tournament? People do tournaments for no apparent reason sometimes in wrestling world. But we don't believe in just doing tournaments to do a tournament. There should be something, some incentive. There needs to be some type of, at least something to bragging rights or whatnot. So, what we're going to do, but also we want to give people the opportunity to show why they are the icons that they are, and we want to give people the opportunity to show off their skill. And after talking with my son and all, we have come up with a new tournament that we have not done before. But it is also only open to the combat sports world people, the MMA world, if you would. This is not, I want to point out, this is not just for the guys on the BA MMA division. We are going to have, for the first time ever, the icons of the F4L presents the icon of the Kumite tournament, in which we will have two simultaneous divisions. We'll have an adult division and a youth division. However, there can only be one champion. This will take place in February, this tournament. Anyone who is familiar with where this might have originated from or where this concept might come from, I urge you to check out the movie Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, as that debuted in February. So paying homage to that, it was a test of grit, determination, the best of the best. Worlds collide. And where our Open MMA tournament is usually open to people who are just doing MMA, the Kumite tournament is open to anyone who decides themselves to be a, quote, tough fighter in general. Talented enough to run and test their skill against others. So, to be clear, I want to break this down for you. MMA people in the MMA division who compete in martial arts, they're guaranteed to be in there. But people who might dabble in martial arts, or maybe wrestlers who are pure wrestlers, someone who might train in boxing, for example, or just do other forms of skills who have that physical capability, we are also opening it up to them as well. And this will happen in February, which means that this will be our new first tournament of 2024. The Icon of Kumite tournament. That is open to both everyone in the BA MMA division, but also people on the Telenet Universal division who are trained wrestlers or have trained in boxing. People, for example, like Gus Jeffers, who also trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and has some martial arts. This is something that he could participate in. As well as Speedy East McDonald, who is a profound wrestler. Drake Larson is also a profound wrestler. So, this is going to be an opportunity of a life. This is going to be a fantastic tournament. Run like always. We don't know who wins and loses. And we won't have any control over anything. And we're going to have a live drawing to find out who faces who in their divisions. But in the end, what's going to end up happening is the winner, if you would, or the semifinal winner who will win the adult division, and the winner who takes over the youth division, those two winners will face each other for one Icon of Kumite champion or grand champion. We are excited. We have some amazing, tough individuals. And when we did our Open MMA tournament, there's some incredible athletes. Look at the people in the UFC and the boxing world. Yes, that is open to them. This Kumite thing is going to be even more iconic and epic. We may even see some veterans return, maybe some Hall of Famers. So, that'll be in February, which will be the first tournament coming up. That's next month, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to welcome new faces and new, fresh talent. And we're also excited to introduce the world to more of these real-life dream masters and dream warriors of the world. Speaking on behalf of my son, in 2023, we absolutely redefined what talent is. And we have resignated and we have coined the phrase a real-life dream master and dream warrior. One who takes control of their own destiny. One who doesn't let whatever come in the way of them achieving their goals. The best of the best. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining me, and there'll be more coming up in weeks to come. I also can tell you, some people are already set. I can already tell you there already are people who are looking forward to coming, doing part like Jaden just did, our watch-alongs. And I can tell you that Biggie, the King of Bling, Elijah Furton, and Action Jackson Baker are two individuals who are looking forward to doing a watch-along soon. The Menya Boys are also working on getting back in here as well. And among others, there will be more coming as time follows. Ryder of the Nation Wood will be looking forward to making his debut here on the F4L Headquarters podcast, as well as some of maybe our new friends who I just mentioned. Perhaps the Jesse Untamed, Connor Stallmer, Isaiah the Natural Trainer. I can tell you that we are in the works of bringing him on here. I've been in communications and we're working on trying to figure out when he has time. But he will also be someone who we will have to have him on and see how that works out. So there's that. And I also know that the Nightmare Noah Tyndall will also be coming back officially, his own watch-along of 2023. So folks, it is Friday. Make your weekend epic. Take ownership of it. Do what makes you you. So on behalf of my son, on behalf of everyone else, ladies and gentlemen, may all your dreams come true. Enjoy your weekend. Peace from the F4L Headquarters podcast. Play that music, Bertram. Thank you. May all your dreams come true. Bye, everybody.